Hey everyone, it's Erin from the Painted Tin Bin. So this video is an instructional video on how to do the Easter egg. It's the big one. If you're watching this video, you probably purchased a paint kit and you are attempting to do this at home. Yours may be a small egg, doesn't matter. I'll kind of talk about the differences between the two, but the only real difference is the vinyl. That's it. So, and then I'll go through everything that you should have received in your paint kit. I'll do an instructional video, give some helpful tips and tricks on how to either do it quickly or do it slowly or just some design ideas. And then I will put the vinyl on as well as the hanger and the bow. So let's get started. Let's go through all the items that you should have received in your paint kit. So the metal, whether it's a big egg or small egg, whatever, you should have received some kind of metal. The bow, so the bow on the outside, that's your bow. So hopefully you either A, didn't throw it away with the bag, or you didn't put it on a present and give it to somebody else already. So this is your bow. It's twofold because it's your bow, but also it tells me the paint kit, what kind of paint kit, what shape it is. So keep that in mind. There should be a wire hanger in your paint kit as well. And then your paint, whichever came in your kit, okay? I have 5 colors here. They may be the same colors that came in your paint kit. I'm gonna turn this on, it's a little dark. There we go. It may be the same colors that came in your paint kit. It may be different. It doesn't matter. It's totally okay, whatever it is. Sponge brushes and a detail brush. Again, your detail brush will probably look very different. This is my trusty detail brush. The cool thing about these are that if you are a crafty person, you can wash these in kind of cool-ish water and reuse all of them over and over again. So just kind of contributing to your craft stash, if you will. And then your vinyl. So one item for sure would be some words. It's hard to see, Happy Easter. Your paint kit may be different, but that's okay. And then the other thing that you should have received that I forgot, so what happens when you're here live video, is your polka dots, okay? It could be, if you have a small shape, you will only have 1 row of polka dots. But if you have a large shape, you'll have about 3 to 4 rows, okay? So some helpful things to have nearby. Just a reminder, all the paint that we're using today is exterior latex paint. So it's gonna stain and it's gonna stay, which is kind of what we want, unless it gets somewhere that it's not supposed to. So make sure you're wearing some paint clothes or an old t-shirt or some, go grab an old button down. Remember when we used to do that in elementary school? You'd get your dad's button down or something, wear it backwards. Was that just my school? I don't know. Anyway, as a paint shirt, protect your surface area. So I'm gonna kind of move this a little bit. I'm here in the Polka Dot HQ. I'm in the workshop, and this is just construction paper. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go out and buy a whole roll of this, but you do need to protect your work area. So if your paint kit came in a paper bag, you could cut it and kind of slice it open and lay it down. That could potentially give you enough workspace. If it came in a pizza box, the pizza box does fold flat out. That could protect your workspace. If that's not a big enough workspace or you want some extra protection, the disposable plastic tablecloths are a good option that you can get at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. The other thing, you could put a trash bag down. You could put some aluminum foil down. That would be kind of loud, but I mean, if that's what you got, that's what you got. Old newspapers, old magazines, an old towel, whatever the case may be. If you're gonna put a fabric down, like an old fabric, make sure it's something that's got a little bit of thickness to it. If you were to put an old sheet down, if you spill paint on that, it is still gonna go through the fabric and onto your surface. So I would say if you're using an old flat sheet or something, maybe double or triple it or quadruple it, you know, fold it so that it's got a couple different layers. But yeah, and then, so paper towels, because let's be real, it's gonna happen. And then for the bow, if you have some needle nose wire cutters or needle nose pliers, that's gonna be the best tool for when we're working with wire, but I'll talk to you about other options of what you can do to put your wire on if you don't have a set of these. And then a hair dryer that has a cool setting, okay? That will be beneficial if you want to speed up the drying process. If you don't have anywhere to be, you don't need it. So, all right, well, let me get you situated so you are seeing the whole egg. And it's gonna be kind of hard because you guys, it's a big egg. This is the big one. So I have a little squiggly line in the center that's already stenciled. If you do not have that, that is okay. If you do have that and you want to get rid of it, you can. If you have it and you want to do it first, you're in luck. That's what we're gonna do, okay? So I think I'm gonna do some blue in here, and then I think my other 4 colors I'm gonna do, so I don't know about you, but I'm really bad at dyeing eggs, even though I've done it, I do it a lot with my nieces and nephews and then also with growing up. But I think I'm gonna put all 4 of these colors out here. I may even put this one out here a little bit too as like a tie-dye. So I'll show you that effect. But for now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna concentrate on this middle part. So I encourage you to move your egg around, move your shape around, whatever makes you comfortable. So dip it in your paint and we're gonna get started. So we always do thin coats of paint because thin makes it dry faster. So you can see I was kind of going in right there along my little curvy line around. You notice when I'm concentrating because I stopped talking. So I typically like to do my outline first. Now, if you're not comfortable doing this little outline with your sponge brush, that's when you can go grab your skinny brush and you could go in and do that. So and then what I would suggest is just grab a small cup of water, a disposable cup of water, or go rinse it out in the sink, just because you may want to use it again later. So, and then just kind of fill in. We're gonna go up here, and this is not meant to be perfect, so you're gonna see me go pretty fast. I promise you I'm not hitting the fast forward button on the video. It's just that, well, I've been doing it a minute. But 2, when we're gonna be doing the top and the bottom of the egg, I can clean up any oopses that I may have in the, you know, around this section. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind, you know, thin coats, it's not going to cover on the first coat. We will always do at least 2 to 3 coats of the paint. Most commonly we do 2. 3 will probably come into play when we're, you know, talking about orange, if you have orange in your kit, or yellow, just because there's not a ton of pigment in there for the, you know, the paint to use to cover. But so yeah, so just go ahead and just keep doing that. But what I was about to say was we're going to do thin coats, but we're also going to keep our paint smooth. So, and that's why you kind of saw me doing this kind of a thing, is just kind of to spread that paint around. When you are painting a wall, let's say in your home, if you get a little too much paint on the wall, the drywall material, whatever that is, rock, I don't know, can soak it up. And so you won't necessarily have ridges. But when you're working with metal, unfortunately, you do not have that luxury. You got to make sure it's thin, because this metal will not soak up any of your paint to try, you know, to flatten it out. So I always encourage people just to move it around, move your paint around. And like I said, we're going to do 2 coats. It's not gonna be perfect on your first one. Heck, it's not even gonna be perfect on your last coat of paint, but that's okay, because it's perfectly imperfect, made by you. So, I'm gonna show this up close so you can kind of see how I got in all the way across. Kind of looks like a weird, the wrong color Charlie Brown sweater. That's all right, we'll get it figured out. So, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the hair dryer. Okay. So if you do not want to use the hair dryer, you can mute me for a good minute or so. Otherwise, let's talk about that. You need a hair dryer that has a cool function. Now, on my Dollar General special hair dryers, that I have to hold my button in. If you have a fancier one, you may just have to click it and it's all it stays on cool. Whatever it is, cool. That's the most important thing to hear. The reason why it has to be on the cool setting is because if you were to use the hot setting, then that would heat up the metal. The metal would expand, and then the paint wouldn't be able to kind of grab onto the metal, and then the paint would bubble up and fall off. And nobody's got time for that. So what I'm gonna do is I typically wave and I turn my hair dryer on, so that if you have auditory sensitivities, you can mute, and then I will demonstrate how to use the hair dryer, and then I will wave again when my hair dryer is off. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so if you were watching me while I did the hair dryer, you notice that it doesn't take very long. That was like less than a minute or a minute. You saw me doing 2 things. First thing you saw me doing was kind of something that looked like this. So what I was doing is I was just touching the paint to see if it was dry. Obviously, it's dry, nothing on my hands. The other thing that you kind of saw me doing was kind of doing one of these things. Because in the light, if this section, let's say this section right here, was still wet, it would be shiny. Whereas the paint, when it's dry, it's dull. So when you're using the hair dryer, you know, the biggest question that I get is, how do I know when to stop? Well, can you touch it and not get any paint? Or, it's a dull color, okay? So, now that this is dry, we're gonna go in with coat number 2. Again, thin coats. And we're just gonna go in and just like I did before. The other thing to be mindful of and watch when you're doing your second coat is to see if you're pulling your previous coat of paint off when you start painting. And how you can tell that you are doing that is when you pull and it's almost like some of the paint disappears underneath the coat of paint you are putting on right now. If that happens, go ahead and keep going, but be mindful. If it happens a couple times, I would probably stop and dry the whole section, the first coats section again, because it didn't get all dry. If it just happens once, you know, that's probably just like one little section that you kind of overlooked and it's no big deal. What you would do is you really want to dry the second coat, the whole second coat. And then when you go in, and then when it's all dry and you've confirmed that it's really dry, you can do just like a little spot over that paint spot, I guess, I don't know, over that little section where you pulled the paint, and it should start to build up and cover the section. So that it can happen. It happens to me. You know, it's just like sometimes it looks dry, but it really isn't. So no big deal. We can come back from that. Don't stress. So you'll notice that this second coat, it goes a lot quicker just because you've already done, you know, if you have these waves, you've already done one coat and you're really just trying to get a good coverage. Now you're gonna see, this is a solid design, you know, a solid fill with this color. If you're wanting to do something a little more rustic, if that's more primitive, if that's your design aesthetic, I encourage you to go to the design videos here on this YouTube channel and check it out. It's called dry brushing or rustic, I believe. That's one way where you can, I believe it shows it with a chip brush, but you can also do it with the sponge brushes. It's just a little different texture. You can make this as rustic looking as you want, or you can make it as fun and cheerful and bright as you want, or you can do both. So there's a lot of design videos on this channel. I've done a buffalo plaid check, stripes. I haven't done wiggles or wavy yet. You know, there's just a variety of color or design ideas that we've done over the years. So I just made quick little tutorials on how to do those. So, but okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here on the bottom, and I'm gonna move this back now, and we're gonna focus on the bottom of the egg. And like I said, I am going to work on almost like a tie-dye effect, or maybe a marbling. I don't know what you would call it. So we're gonna start down here. This is still wet. I'm not gonna use the hair dryer right now. I hope to, by the time I get up to there, it's mostly dry. And now I don't know how this is gonna go. Could be an epic failure. Could be epically awesome. We'll see what happens. So I'm gonna use these 4 colors. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of put them in random spots all over, but I'm gonna focus down here first. And then I'm gonna go to the next color, random spots. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I know what it looks like in my head. I don't know if it's gonna interpret out here well, but we'll find out. So I'm gonna start with my coral color. I'm not gonna load it up. And again, this is a specific design idea. If you don't wanna do this, you don't have to. You can paint this yellow, and then you can fast forward to the wording, applying the vinyl words, whatever. It's your polka dot. So yeah, we're gonna see what this looks like. Well, I don't know. But so then I'm just gonna pick a different color now. Let's go with lime, I guess. I guess maybe I'm doing more of like an ombre. I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all ever have that? Like where you're just like, I have something in my head, but I don't know what it will look like in real life. Yeah, that's my life every day. So now, and you'll notice that when I'm doing my ombre or my watercolor or whatever I'm calling this, Lord only knows what I'm calling this. I'm blending down. Okay. Now ombre, I typically do stay in the same color family when I'm doing an ombre, but you know, I'm living dangerously today. And I'm getting awfully close to the blue, so I'm gonna slow down. Okay, so then I got that. So then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my different colors and just put random random areas. I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna look like, y'all. We're just gonna see what happens. And then I think it's turning out kind of cool. I don't know. It's like a watercolor. You know, like I said, when you remember when you were a kid and you could never figure out how to make all those pretty eggs and everyone else's looked good, but yours looked like all jacked up. Yeah, this is where we're at. This is my all jacked up Easter egg. I am going to take this one all the way up to the blue. And you notice I just did the same exact thing as I just went straight up into with that. Again, if that makes you nervous, by all means, go in and grab your skinny brush and go about it that way. Maybe this line goes all the way around. I don't know. So I don't know. This is where I'm at in life today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kind of like making it. It is what it is. I think it's like really pretty from the road, though. I don't know about you guys, but I just think that'll be super pretty. So, and that's the thing is sometimes you got to remember you are looking at it the closest anyone will be looking at it. If I always say if your Amazon or FedEx or UPS guy starts critiquing your painting skills, then it's time for you to do a little more online shopping because apparently he or she's got a little too much time on his hands. But so you notice again over here, I went really slow, brought that down. So, and then I'm gonna grab, so I'm just kind of going in with all the different colors. And looks like I'm gonna use lime twice, but that's all right. So I just go in, bring it down. And do a little blending there. So looks like I need to do, oops. See, that's also why you do thin coats of paint, so that you don't spill or splatter. Now, splatter is another fun technique. It can be messy, and I always suggest doing it outside if you can, because, you know, channeling your inner Harry Potter is fun until you get paint somewhere that there's not supposed to be paint. So, yeah, so my suggestion is and splatter would be a design technique that you would do at the very end. Like you would do all this and then I would splatter it with like white paint or something. So that can, so that's something to also keep in mind is, I think that's kind of cool looking. And I think I'm going to do maybe a solid color on top and some polka dots. Oh, yeah. Polka dots. Yes. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know about you, but I kind of like it. It's a little Jackson Pollock. No, Jackson Pollock was more like polka dots or splatter. So, all right. So while that's all drying, all you got to do is flip your egg around and we're gonna go up here. I think I'm gonna use this coral color. I really do like this coral color, and I think it has a nice contrast to the blue. Although now that I'm looking at the purple, maybe I want purple. No, I don't want purple next to that blue. I'm gonna do the coral. So this would be, if you just wanted, you know, something pretty straightforward, this is, I mean, this is all you gotta do. Like, you know, just like you would be painting a house. Just back and forth. At times, if you need better coverage from between coat 1 to coat 2, what you can do is coat number 1 go left to right, and coat number 2 you could go up and down. Now it's a little harder to do that with this wiggle line that we've got going on here. But up here you could easily adjust your painting technique to accommodate that. Okay, so I'm gonna, and again, keeping our coats thin because we will do a second coat. Now down there on the bottom, I don't know if we're gonna do a second coat, like kind of overlaying those colors is almost kind of like its own second coat, but we'll see. But I'm digging it. All right. So I appreciate you purchasing a paint kit, whether it was for a fundraiser or it was just so that you could create at home. Thank you for supporting local, supporting my little small business, my little polka dot happiness. And hope to see you in workshop. So that's what we do Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You pre-register, you tell me what shape you want, and then you come into this little lovely, I call it Polka Dot HQ. And you can paint your heart to your heart's desire here. A lot of people enjoy coming in with friends, family, bringing snacks, bringing beverages of choice. I think I might make it wash, like kind of like. That's the other thing you can do is you can kind of press down a little harder. You get those streaks. Maybe that's what you're going for. I think I am kind of going for that, not gonna lie. Digging that. It's a little harder down here with the wavy lines, but we're gonna, there we go. So we have some dark spots over here, so we gotta fix those. But there, I'm just kind of really digging this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Normally I sell these, but this might be going home. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're gonna chalk this up as the cutest big old egg, Easter egg there ever was. I am gonna bust out the hairdryer again, just because a lot of this is still wet, but the blue has been drying, so there are sections that are still wet, but there are other spots that are completely dry, which is what we wanna see. This is drying pretty quickly. Again, this was just one quick simple swipe of the sorry, there was a spot that was bothering me. swipe of the paintbrush. So I mean, lots of parts are dry, but there's a couple streaks that are still wet. So I'm going to just do a whole egg drying time. Might take a little longer, might be a little bit 2 minutes, but that's okay. We're doing good on time. And then I'll show you how to do the how to do some polka dots, especially if you want like lots of polka dots. And we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, so you're probably thinking, I want polka dots. Polka dots make me happy. And there's 2 ways that you can do a polka dot. So we're gonna bring you up a little bit. So the first one is obviously using the stickers that were provided. And I am gonna put those up here on top. So, first off, you know, you just really got to choose what size you want. If you have a small egg, you have 2 sizes. If you have a large egg, you have anywhere from 3 to 4 different sizes of polka dots. Vinyl is once you stick, you must commit. What that means is once you stick the vinyl sticker on the metal, it's there forever and ever, amen. Okay, so and honestly, random is best. Don't measure, just run with scissors. So I'm going to use this kind of medium size. You can choose to do whatever you want, but you notice I'm just going to go wild and crazy and and I'll show you what to do. You can put one, or you can put some off of the shape, and I'll show you what to do here shortly, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep sticking. Let's do one right there. And put some there. We're gonna put one there. There. I feel like down there's a little naked. I don't know. Let's see. Put one right there. Okay. So now what you do is you grab a piece of your scissors and you just trim around, around the edge. So there you go. So then you're left with like little slivers, okay? Now you can use those little slivers again if you would like to. Totally your call. But you don't have to. This works a lot better than folding the vinyl under. Oftentimes when you fold the vinyl under, never do it that way. It doesn't stay just because of the tension being folded over. So, I find just cut it. And then you can use those little half circles, as other side ones. I probably shouldn't have put all 4 of them off to the side. I probably should have just put 2. But that's okay. We're all good to go. Okay. So that's the easiest way to do polka dots with the vinyl that's provided for you, okay? The other way that you can think about vinyl, and I'm probably gonna go grab some paint, is you can make your own polka dots using the end of your paintbrushes. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that just because my lines on the wavy and where it meets down here got a little kind of out of control. I was running wild. But I think that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna do little dots across that to kind of disguise some of my oopses. So let me grab some paint here. My apologies, I'm not prepared. But you know, sometimes the creative process evolves. Okay? So when you're doing, and again, you will see there's a polka dot design video also on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to kind of check it out. But so what I do is I barely tap it in, get a little bit, and I just start making polka dots. Now the downside is that oftentimes you do have to do one dip, one dot, one dip, one dot. And then your dots are not going to be perfectly spaced. But you know what? No one's up there measuring it. Who cares? Oh, yep, see, that was a little close. Oh, well. I think this way of one dip, one dot is going to give you the most consistent polka dot size, because as you do, so I'm going to do it right there, you'll notice that this polka dot is much smaller than the previous one. So typically I'm all about the polka dots being the same size-ish. Now I'm more concerned about that as opposed to them being evenly spaced apart. So, but that's just me. So one dip, one dot, just all the way across. It's a little bit time consuming, and I will tell you that when you do polka dots this way, the polka dots are gonna take a good chunk of time to dry, whether it's on their own or with the help of a hairdryer, only because there's a lot of paint concentrated in that one area. So you always want to make sure that if you do these types of polka dots, then that you either let it dry overnight or you just sit there with that hairdryer and you space out. I don't know. Just because it does take a minute. Oftentimes I do tell customers, like, if, you know, when they come to workshop and they do these type of polka dots, you can, I always tell them, like, just lay it flat in the back of your car. When you get home, you can hang it up right away. But I often tell people, if the polka dots are really wet still, which they really shouldn't be, but just lay it flat and keep it, you know, on your dining room table overnight or something. So we're just gonna keep polka dotting our life away. But look at these happy little polka dots. Did you ever see a sad polka dot? I didn't. So, and then up next, what I'm gonna show you is the vinyl word application. Now it's gonna be very similar to what you saw with these polka dots, but we have the added security of the transfer tape. So what transfer tape really is it's just a big piece of tape that you can see through. But it does help when you are trying to place letters and words down all at once. So you don't have to, you know, do one letter at a time and everything stays straight. So it's really great to have the transfer tape, or, you know, scotch tape, whatever. But your wording should have come together, should already have come with transfer tape already attached to it. So just make sure you don't take that off yet. You don't necessarily need transfer tape for the polka dots, just because those are pretty easily managed by most people to peel and stick. So, but you notice I'm digging. Maybe I need some blue on the bottom. I don't know, what do you think? see, this is what happens, y'all. Like, you think you're done. And then you get this idea of like, oh, maybe I want some blue on the bottom. Well, now I said it and I put it into the universe, so now I gotta do it. All right, well, while those white polka dots dry, let's add a little, I guess we'll add a little blue down here somewhere. How about that? I think that's a little bit better. I was needing some, I just felt like I was needing some blue down here to kind of tie it all together. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's talk about words now, okay? My dots need to dry, but I'm going to show you the process of putting words on. I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment. So, there we go. Okay, so what I need you to do is to go grab your credit card. You're not going to use it. Well, you're going to use it, but you're not going to charge anything to it. So, you're welcome. I'm going to use scissors because we're all going to pretend like this is a credit card. So, what I want you to do, so here's what we got. We have backing, okay? We have words. You can kind of see them there. And then you have this red and white gridded transfer tape. This is like the Scotch tape, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to just use your credit card and rub just nice and gently. And what you're doing is you're basically getting the transfer tape to attach to your words, okay? So you're gonna do that for all the letters. And you don't have to push really hard, okay? I don't want you to think that you have to like, but just a nice rub, okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to take the top corner that is farthest away from you and separate it, okay? So see, here's my transfer tape, here's my backer. And I want you to slowly pull towards you, and if you did the rubbing correctly, your letters will come with you, okay? So see, we're gonna keep coming and go slow. You may wanna put your hand up here so you can continue to pull the letters away from the backer, okay? And you're gonna keep doing that slowly but surely. If you have a problem where it doesn't want to come with the transfer tape, put it back down, rub it with your credit card, and start again, okay? I think mine's just a transfer tape issue. Yeah, it is. Okay. So we're just going to keep slowly pulling towards you. Until you have all the letters. There we go. Happy Easter. Okay. The backer you can get rid of. And then, now we can't be doing this when there's wet polka dots. Because if we pull, oops, hold on. Because our transfer tape will mess up my polka dots. So I'm gonna do a quick dry here, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for that. So 1 second. Okay, so my polka dots are dry, so we can go ahead and put Happy Easter down. And just like the polka dots, once you stick, you must commit, okay? So I just eyeball it. I kind of use my fingers to help me even it out. There we go. And then you use that credit card one more time and you rub the letters down onto the metal. Now, this is where if you rub over a polka dot, it may sploosh, splatter out. I'm not really for sure what word I'm trying to use there, but it'll like, so it won't be a happy polka dot. It'll be just kind of this big blob. You will also probably, just like I'm doing right here, pull, see how I pulled some of that paint from those polka dots off. And that's okay, we can fix that. But, so that's why you should typically wait and do your polka dots last, but I wanted to show you guys and I got really excited. But as you can see, how cute is this? Let me grab my paintbrush and fix those. Yeah, I did sploosh one of them. I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, so see right there how it kind of got a little messy? That's okay. We're just gonna make that polka dot again. And we're just gonna do the center, and it is what it is. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think this is absolutely adorable. I really do. It's so cute. Okay, so now let's put our wire on and let's put our bow on. So yours will have 2 holes. Oops. Yours will have 2 hanger holes. This one is a, Egg, so he only has 1, but that's okay. We still love him. He's just a little bit different. So what we're gonna do, and you do the same exact thing, whether you have 2 holes or 1. So what you're gonna do is put your shape with the holes hanging over the table. So my table ends right here. So this top section is hanging off of the table. And you're gonna grab your wire and your needle nose pliers, and you're gonna go from the bottom to the top. Okay, so you're gonna have your wire sticking up, and then you're gonna do 3 twirls with this wire. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then that's how you get our signature little fun, crazy little thing. Okay, you can tighten it up. I'm gonna tighten this little thing up. There we go. Okay, now you're going to do it the same thing with the other end of the wire. I'm going through the same hole, but obviously you would go through the other hole. So it becomes a little more intense because I don't got a ton of room over here. So let me, again, from the bottom to the top, okay, about 1 to 2 inches, I would say, up here. And again, with the second one, I sometimes only just do 2. So 1 twirl, 2 twirls, just so that it doesn't look exactly the same, okay? So then you need to grab your handy dandy bow, and your bow may look slightly different from mine, and that's okay. I'm going to refer to these little white pipe cleaner ends as pant legs, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna decide, does my bow need to be on the right side? Well, my right side, maybe your left as you're looking at it, or on this side, okay? Whichever hole you're going to put it in, you're gonna take one pant leg and thread it through the hole, and then the other pant leg is gonna go straight back. Okay, so you have, let me move the bow out of the way. So you have this kind of situation going on behind it. So then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take the pant legs and cross the legs. I'd do it about 2-3 times. And then you can cut this excess off, okay? You can cut those excess legs off. Apparently those are Shaquille O'Neal legs. I don't even know, but it's okay. So, and then it's done. You can twist and fluff your bow as you so choose, but ladies and gentlemen, that's your Easter egg. How cute is that? So, I hope you had a great time creating with me. Please take pictures and send them to us or tag us in them, the Painted Tin Bin or hashtag Metal Cuteness. And we love to see what everyone creates at home with our stuff. So, cheers and have an amazing night.